And we are live.
Woo!
Good. Oh, Anne's no longer. I can move the gone out for. Does anyone know what that's from? If anyone knows what that's from, I will give you. I will give
I
the
didn't
party.
hear what you said.
The AFK message, or when people are missing. Does anyone know what the?
I didn't see
I'll
it.
throw it back
I
up
can't
there real
see
quick.
it, so I can't comment.
No Google. If I hear clacking, you're disqualified.
Understandable.
Okay.
I would have to clack to even look at it.
Has gone out this night for pleasure. And I believe the original quote is, "Let us go out this night for pleasure."
I got nothing.
Celine Dion.
Ooh, good try. Good try. It is the game over screen of
Castlevania?
Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
Yeah, the image that I put in people's camera pane is the game over screen, and then I type out the quote. But I did that because Anne was like, I think one of the first people to miss a game when miss a game, but she missed a game when I decided I needed to put something in there. And then I was like, oh yeah, the Soten game over screen says let us go out this night for pleasure. And she's like all about shotguns and fucking. It's perfect.
Yeah.
So you inspire. What I'm saying is you inspire me, Anne.
Don't recommend fucking shotguns.
I think that's when you went to Australia or whatever.
Was Australia? Yeah, I was gonna say that tracks.
I'm kind of mad it took me so long to remember that it was the Symphony of the Night game over screen, because I was going through, because for some reason I was thinking movie quote, and I was like, okay, movies, and I was like, no, it's Castlevania.
Yeah, no, I'm still gonna give you all 1 XP point because you're gonna need it.
Oh, wonderful.
I need 1 more.
Now I just need 2 more or 3 more.
So
80 more.
I saw that game over.
So I'm gonna. How many more do you need, Ashley?
Well, I want more willpower, so I need 3 more.
Okay.
To get
I'm going to give you all 3 additional XP right now, but at the end of the session, I won't be giving XP. Okay. That does not preclude bonus awesome things like puns that really make me laugh.
But we're getting session XP ahead of time.
Yeah, you're getting session XP ahead.
4 total.
Okay,
so
3
yeah,
more.
so 4 total. Because you're gonna need it.
11 right now.
Spend up to there.
Can I do anything with this right
Guess
now?
Guess what? I'm now unbondable.
Nice. Do I want to do anything with this right now?
Because I buy weird things.
There are such
That's not as
weird with this right now.
I mean, I could actually become more powerful, but I'm going to do this instead.
Cass was unbondable in Milwaukee, and I decided that this chronicle has been missing a Malkavian after I wrote the my adventures for Gen Con. And so rant related, I'm sorry. Rant related, I think 3/4 of us, 3/5 of us, I don't do math good, will be at Gen Con. 4/5
minimum,
of us?
Yes.
4/5.
Minimum 3.
Shelly has decided.
We are uncertain.
If we win an award, 4.5 of us will be there because we're definitely going to do the tablet thing with Anne.
Yes, we'll definitely do Iron Mouse at the event.
Yeah. So that brings me to I will be GMing games at Gen Con, Vampire, and I think I can say NDAs tend to be you can only talk about the stuff that is publicly known, and people publicly know that there is Welcome to Night Vale as a podcast. And
there was a Kickstarter for the RP for the game.
Yeah. So I will be GMing Welcome to Night Vale and Vampire exclusively this time, which is really dope because last time they threw me on Hunter all weekend, which I didn't mind. I actually had a lot of fun because I have fun GMing. It doesn't matter, and I like new challenges. I probably had the most fun with the werewolf game actually because I literally didn't read the notes and I just bullshitted the entire thing, and everyone had a blast. I got 5-star ratings from every single player.
Yay!
Welcome to Night Vale is an Essence 20 game, so you're welcome.
Yeah, so I'll be running a Welcome to Night Vale game, and I had to submit my summaries of that game, and then I had to submit my summaries of the games for Vampire. So 3 games total. I might be repeat running a couple of them. I don't know how I'm definitely going to be repeat running them because the time works out.
You gotta do 5. So,
but the point is I wrote my blurbs. You get 200 characters, including spaces, which is not very long. That's 2 sentences when it gets right down.
It's like an
epitaph.
Well, I was gonna say it's like your what's it called for academic papers? It's
treatment.
Your
treatment.
Yeah, your treatment for academic papers.
Yeah, so it's not a whole lot, and then you get 900 characters for the long summary, which is about a paragraph. And I wrote one of mine without trying to, just one of my short blurbs in a Malkavian voice, I plucked a spider from the cobweb last night. And I was just it's just how it came out. I'm like, damn, I miss having a Malkavian NPC. So
we're getting a Malkavian.
You need a Malkavian. Son Newberry isn't a Mephisto TM NPC. He's a dick. He's not a fun Malkavian. He's a douchey, scheming one that might as well be a Ventru, because he really isn't. You could say it might as well be a Ventru or Zamisi, I guess, because they're both the blue blood high. They're both the nobility class, right? Let's put it that way. But I realized as I was writing in a Malkavian voice, I'm like, damn, I need a Malkavian. And so I have a plight, Chat Gang. And my players are part of Chat Gang as well, because Chat Gang is a state of mind.
Real.
I had a plot twist for Jeff Goldblum. Do I make him a Malkavian? Do I do this?
Yes.
He's not.
You got to talk to Anne about that. That's an Anne thing.
But even then, we're probably gonna end up murdering him. So then you have to get another Malkavian.
But that's fine. I get to scratch the itch, in an immediate sense, and then
Speaking of scratching the itch,
nice.
Welcome everyone.
Transition, nice.
Welcome to Endless Elegy, Second City Blues, where we spend the first 10 minutes of stream just gabbing.
If you
could say that we're vamping.
It's technical term in broadcast, but also if you watch the original show on YouTube, the original 2 seasons of Milwaukee by Night, which Endless Elegy, our cold opens were exactly that. We do our cold open vamping, and then we would go into our content warning.
Yeah.
Who wants to do the content warning? I feel like somebody's been chomping at the bit to do it.
I got it. Or wait, no, Elle.
Yes, I want to do the content warning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Give me the content warning. I haven't done it in so long.
Why do I have?
I don't think you ever done it.
I did it once a long time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away.
In a galaxy far, far away. All right.
Where's Charles?
Charles, we miss you. Come home from the war.
Well, he's not used to us being live at this time. He'll stagger in at about 9 o'clock.
I was going to say, give him an hour.
Yeah, he'll be here promptly at 9.
So we're ready for the content warning, gang.
Go ham.
Yeah.
The following show takes place in the world of darkness and explores narratives of personal horror. This story is a work of fiction and is not official World of Darkness material. Many of the themes are portrayed from a place of empathy, but may be uncomfortable to some listeners. Episodes may contain coarse language, yes, sexual content, depending on what Rory and Sasha get up to tonight, mental and emotional abuse, absolutely, look at Jeff Goldblum. Violence, absolutely, look at Jeff Goldblum. Mental illness, absolutely, look at Jeff Goldblum. And blood. Viewer discretion is advised. Portions of the material are the copyrights and trademarks of Paradox Interactive AB and are used with permission. All rights reserved. For more information, please visit worldofdarkness.com. Thank you for watching Endless Elegy. We hope you've enjoyed the story thus far, and invite you to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitch or your favorite player. Also, nominate us for the Crit Awards. There are nominations open. Nominate us for the Crit Awards.
Nominations start April 1st.
They're not open yet. They open on April 1st. This is not an April Fool's prank, gang.
But if you're watching in the future,
internally,
if
Yes,
you're
if
watching in
you're-
the future, they have started now, so it's fine.
They have started in the future, so hello all future people. Please nominate us for the Crit Awards. We are so happy just to be here, but we would also love to be an award-winning podcast.
To win stuff. Yeah.
Yes, we do like to win stuff. Also, maybe then Shelly will go to Gen Con.
Yeah. Maybe we could all get crisp high fives from Vampire Daddy.
Yes.
Oh, I want to share a bottle of wine with him so badly. I'd settle for a glass each. I don't want to
drink wine.
I've met like famous folk, not as many as Elle has.
Yeah.
Who seems to just work with them all. Like every one of them that I reference in this game, they worked with.
Somehow is Elle's best friend.
I've never worked with Jeff Goldblum.
That's good because he's probably going to get the most brutal murder of all.
Yeah. Please let me kill Stephen Amell at some point. Stephen Amell, you know what you did. Fuck you.
God. Wow.
I
feel like there's going to be some conversation.
Stephen Amell seemed like kind of a pretty dope dude.
He's not.
Oh, okay. Jason Padalecki and Jensen Ackles, are we clear there?
I like them. I like them a lot. Jared
Have you worked
Jensen
with them?
is definitely really chill. I haven't worked with Jared as much, but from what I know of him, he's pretty chill.
Well, Jensen's the better one anyway. Team Dean all the way.
but Jensen
Also,
is definitely
in this
chill.
It is canon that him and Castiel are gay. Like, go back and watch it with context that Dean is a closeted gay man, and it makes the misogyny even like it makes it make even more sense, right? Like it's like he would be overcompensating.
Misha was my favorite to work with by far. Shout out to Misha Collins.
It's that you did stuff with the CW/WB is where you work.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of the WB, this is prime time to hop in to find out what happened last week on Endless Elegy.
Oh boy!
So I just want to point out that we have a series of birthdays. And is it like officially is today your birthday? Like I don't know how time travel works.
My birthday was on Tuesday.
Was on Tuesday, but we're counting this as your birthday present stream, sort of.
Listen, I was sick on Tuesday, so it couldn't have been Anne's birthday actually.
So happy birthday to Anne, and my birthday's in like 9 days or 8 days or something like that. So the violence that I'm about to inflict on this coterie is my birthday present to myself. Which, speaking of violence and inflictions,
the violence that's going to happen is going to be my birthday present to myself. Let's go.
Birthdays are really gifts for everybody. They're not just about who the
It's like Christmas.
Birthday. Yes, exactly. It's a communal thing.
It's Jesus's birthday, but Jesus doesn't get any presents.
And So last time on DBZ,
Jesus knows what he did.
I took my partied with lepers and hookers. Like Jesus was dope. Whipped the merchants.
Jesus was a cool guy.
Yeah, hypothetically.
Jesus,
but no one buys the present.
Yeah, Jesus was dope. Christians, on the other hand, need to
need to smoke some dope and calm down.
Yeah. So anyway, I say that even though both my children are baptized.
All right.
So last time on DBZ, and you can fill in the blanks, Elle, here, but since you read the thing here, the coterie went to a very special island in the center of Lake Michigan. Well, not the center of Lake Michigan, but in Lake Michigan, the sort of island that you can't see within eye shot from the coast or the various ports and working docks that sort of are dappled throughout Chicago. It's the sort of island that ominously, and this is a direct paraphrase, you can only find if you're looking for it. pretty much, alluding to some sort of, supernatural chicanery going on. Chicanery, what a great word. And they partied with Sasha's sire. Now, if you've been watching the program for any amount of time, you have an understanding that Sasha learned from Zoran, her ex-boyfriend, and turned vampire terrorist and turned nemesis. I don't know what's going on with him. We'll probably have him checking in with us very soon. Foreshadowing.
I miss him.
He sort of mentioned that he knew a great secret, and that was part of the reason he was exiled from Chicago to begin with. He knew a great secret, but also he sort of took it on the chin. Sasha's transgressions, where she should have been basically executed for her masquerade breach and stuff back in the day. Zorn was able to sort of reduce the sentence, and he was exiled, but he also, along the way in this fiasco, learned a great secret about Sasha's sire that he mentioned, before the reset button was hit and he became a bad guy. He said that basically Ambrose isn't your sire. Now, we haven't yet probed that, but I haven't exactly concealed it either. I don't feel like insulting my players' intelligence when they figure something out big like that, especially when we kind of workshop that together, Anne and I. So there's no sense in beating around the bush with that. It allows me to indulge and lean into evil Jeff Goldblum's proclivities even more upon entering the island, where they find this spread that he had to admittedly rush together and was really sort of upset about, that he didn't have time to really roll out the red carpet for everybody. When they entered, he had like essentially servitors, which is a capital S. They are a thing that exists within World of Darkness. You can essentially like blood dolls that have been customized to be better blood dolls, but at the expense of sometimes looking like Cenobites. So he had this sort of like Cenobite party. Also accommodated the lamer kindred by getting them like a pig to use, because he is a benevolent host after all. There was small talk for the most part. I think a little jousting near the end of the celebratory dinner before the coterie landed upon the real reason they were there. I'm sure Sasha's kind of keeping it tight to the vest that she's going to confront this evil Jeff Goldblum, Ambrose Creed. What a great name. I thought Anne came up with that, which is probably why I was able to compliment it. Ambrose Creed. They are seeking his help to essentially bring down the Second Inquisition / more specifically First Light. He's happy to oblige them, but nothing comes free on this island. As Sasha will attest, you have to earn everything. And the way you often earn things on this island is through martial conflict. Think, Yu Yu Hakusho tournaments. I guess DBZ has also had tournaments too. Tekken, we can go Tekken as well. So basically, you usually have to fight, do something martial. It doesn't necessarily always mean a fight. He sort of mentioned, oh, there's 4 of you. That means 4 rounds. Now, the asked, what the risk to the coterie was. He said an inconvenient torpor, basically, which is highly inconvenient. It sucks to be torpid, especially for older kindred, which we have one much older kindred. And I don't know about you, coterie, but learning what happens to a kindred torpid with the static man in their head is something I would really love to learn. I would really love to see that on
Fuck
screen.
y'all.
It's been so
Fuck y'all
long since
so
I saw
much.
Statty. I miss Statty. It's been a whole episode.
Yeah, Statty's been oddly quiet so far whilst on the island. So essentially, they negotiated.
Daddy doesn't want to. Daddy doesn't want a piece of that crazy Jeff Goldblum bullshit.
I can't unsee him as like
Daddy went to go for
like
milk.
the
Okay,
Grandmaster
y'all.
Dracula. Is every time I see Ambrose, I see like the Static Man Dracula, or not the Static Man. I'm sorry, the Grandmaster.
He
Dracula.
has infected you.
Yeah, y'all. We've referred to it so much that my mind's eye has been replaced with that. So
Daddy looked at Ambrose and said, "Not today, Satan."
Yeah. I have a shirt that says "Not today, Jesus," and it's got like a really cutesy Baphomet on it that I got from Salem. I love it. I don't wear
that's
it.
fun.
I don't wear it because it's a tank top, and there's just etiquette about tank tops on stream. So yeah, there's a chord was struck basically, 4 rounds. Now Sasha also navigated the conversation for a bonus round, a bonus. Now I don't remember what the bonus was supposed to be. I do have notes though, because I got a new notebook for this chronicle after that other one is fucking gone, man.
So,
it is in the upside down.
The way
Goodbye.
you explained the bonus round, I imagine it like if you've ever seen American Gladiators. You know that one game in American Gladiators? I think it's called Assault, where the gladiator is shooting tennis balls from like a gun
Yes.
on a
I
platform.
missed that show.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what that's what I imagine the challenge is that Ambrose set out last week for the bonus round of just Sasha running around while he's trying to shoot down from a platform trying to get her. So yeah, that's what I imagine.
Yeah. So we got a previous episode here. I don't remember if you negotiated what the bonus would be. I think it was like something like a clue, or you'd have an advantage in your 4 rounds should you succeed.
Advantage was the word that he used.
Yeah. And I believe it was an advantage for like the Insidious puzzle I had planned for Rory specifically.
Oh, fuck you! All right.
I didn't think we covered any specifics as to what
and I didn't
the
cover
advantage
the
was.
So no, it wasn't.
No. Ambrose didn't say what it was. But it was a bonus. He said though, because you're going for a bonus, the threat would be greater to you, and in brackets, like OOC out of character. I mean, your character is going to get torpid so hard they become an NPC. Okay, so we know the stakes.
Stakes.
And basically, your bonus round would be the first thing up. So you're led to your dorms, which are actually were pretty swanky, because they're it's in the guest house where this place is a compound. It's got this sort of Pan-Asian influence with the architecture, but it is obvious to especially an expert like Jaq that it is not like these are authentic in any of their Asian influences. Okay, they're not like a literal pagoda or a literal anything like that, and they are a little bit of a mishmash of Western architecture. So they're relatively modern made. It's like pick of a cyberpunk video game where they're for whatever reason. I actually know the reason why the Japanese influence is very heavily in cyberpunk, and it has to do with the fact with Reaganomics and paranoia about the Japanese economy taking over. Racism. It's racism. The real reason's racism. Point is but move away from the racism and towards appreciation and stuff like that. It's more of a not so much cyberpunk, but like you can understand that sort of how the cyberpunk aesthetic always has that sort of amalgam Pan-Asian Western sort of thing going on. Ambrose has a similar thing going on, but with more of our modern style of architecture rather than like some, vague futuristic stuff. The way that like rock gardens, would be or have been incorporated into our modern architecture, like that sort of thing. However, as you were being led to the dorms, and this is where I'm going to let Elle take over because I'm sure they have some thoughts / notes on this that I couldn't do justice to.
So Jaq decides that they're going to be the first character death in a Ring movie because they see the well from their dreams and they're like, oh, it's time to go stick my head down the well from my dreams. Not their dreams, but the dreams that they walk in. So they jog over to the evil well that sucks up goodness and leaves behind fear and pain. And they stick their head down the evil well with their flashlights. And
pain. Let me take a note real quick. Fear and pain.
Okay.
No, keep going.
Okay. So they stick their head down there and they're like, huh, this doesn't match anything that is constructed around it. The time period, the style, it's not consistent. It looks like it was picked up and moved here. There's a bunch of Gallic writing and runes on the inside that seems to be some kind of like containment or sealing. It's not quite Gallic, but it has a commonality. It's maybe a variation or an older dialect or an extinct dialect. There's a funneling aspect to it. There's an in, but there's no out. Jaq sketches down the symbols and asks for their ghoul's name when the ghoul is like, hey, what you doing, buddy? We're just all hanging out, waiting for you to stop sticking your head in the well. And Jack's like, your name is Janice. This is lovely to know about you. Ashley's like, can we please not stick our heads in the well? Can we do anything but stick our head in the well, Jaq? And Jaq is like, I have never thought about that in my life, and I'm not about to start now. And so Ashley's like, hey, Ambrose, why'd you leave, the whole Harpy gig and all that? And Ambrose is like, I had a higher purpose. And he's not lying, but he's not telling the truth, which is not how statements work.
I kind of love, hang on a second. I'll touch on that. I will defend that in a moment because I must address chat gang. Wait, is Sasha flavored stupidity the least stupid of the coterie? Kinda.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah. Like, interesting.
Look, I am willing to debate that question because Rory flavored stupidity is something that he believes is smart. So therefore,
well, that's the Elon Musk stupidity, right? And that's the most insidious
danger.
No! Those fighting words.
Wow.
I called for it, but also.
Yeah.
Hi, chat gang, and those watching on
Elon
YouTube.
Musk,
We're
my
sorry.
boy?
We're so sorry, chat gang.
So
We're so sorry, YouTube viewers.
What?
It's mostly because we all hate Musk. That's why.
Yeah.
Why is that
they know. They know. I built my base by being openly, initially just vaguely saying I was a dirty leftist and stuff like that, and mostly because I'm an anarchist, and everybody hates anarchists, like the left, the right, center, everyone hates anarchists. So I finally started openly talking about how I was an anarchist during my podcast at one point in time, and now the cat's out of the bag. I don't hide the fact that I have leftist views and that I was, when I was young, I was a dirty I said I was an anarchist in the SLC punk way because I had no idea what the fuck anarchy actually was. And then I got older and, I had this drift, that just went, from sort of center left, vague, liberal in the American sense, not the global sense of liberal, because all Americans are liberals. It has to, neoliberal has to do with like free market capitalism. It doesn't have to do with political views. Anyway, and then I eventually like.
Oh, hey, hi,
I
Jaden.
learned
You've
more,
been in
and
the
the more I
chat.
read, the more I realized I was an anarchist. I know it's hard to come out of the
All that
anarchy
being
closet.
said,
Point is
Anyways,
Donald Trump
checking those.
fucked
But
Elon
my
Musk.
views are for me. I'm not here to impose my views upon others.
Oh no,
I
we
will,
all
however,
do that,
make
I think.
make snarky quips. Forgive me.
yeah, I think that the dumbest coterie flavored stupidity is probably Jaq flavored stupidity, because Jaq is currently trying very hard to be an early death in a horror franchise, and they don't realize that that's what they're doing, but that is what they're doing. Anyways, so oh my goodness, we have 2 people in here.
But
So
yeah, welcome. No,
then
Ursula K. Le Guin it was my favorite author, one of my favorite authors growing up.
oh yeah,
And it infected me. I'm sorry, everybody. But
no, it's
I will
fair.
say I will not apologize for taking shots at the richest human on the planet.
Do not.
Just
So
don't take shots at Rory in the process.
Poor
no,
Rory.
man, you're gonna catch shrapnel. I'm sorry, Rory, because you've done some shit, and those chickens will come home to roost. However, the chicken that has come home to roost right now is Sasha.
Yeah. Oh, we do have one tiny last little detail that we learned. So Ashley was asking about like the transition of power around the Harpy stuff. Ambrose doesn't have a lot of like intimate or direct knowledge of the person who held the post before, quote unquote. He's lying, but he's not telling the truth. Somebody likely died around the transition of power, so there are bodies somewhere. And Ambrose was a caitiff. And now it's Sasha time.
Also,
Is Fat Sapphic Bro related in any way to you, Elle, by the way, or
yeah, that's actually my sibling.
Oh, so
it's not actually my sibling. I just love Jaden. Jaden is my friend.
That's fine.
I don't know.
Hello,
I'm gonna call it out. Look,
I realized that I have an actual sibling.
Sasha,
all right.
are you ready?
Oh.
So
Are you ready?
I guess the only thing I wanted to kind of put a ribbon on here with our recap,
Yes.
is that Ambrose has a sincere desire to help caitiffs.
Yes.
And it's actually like Ambrose is the kind of person that you would not be surprised to learn is probably hovering around 3 humanity. 2, 3, 4 like humanity at
I think you said like 3.
It's
I think
3.
you said that.
It's 3 and might be 2 if I were to like think about it really long for a really long time. At his most humane, it is in the dealings with the plights of caitiffs. There's like a nostalgic sort of humanity, a nostalgic sort of like almost, dare I say, warmth there. He's cruel, but he is cruel in the way that he just this isn't a justification, this is explanation. He is cruel in the way that he simply doesn't have regard for like humans anymore. He has given in to the indulgences of his beast for so long, the whispers in his head, his strive to sort of find the perfect the perfect humanoid specimen, like this martial like like this sort of like platonic idea of perfection and prowess that is sort of divorced from any human understanding, right? Like in the way where you can imagine like an alien would think of beauty, it wouldn't necessarily be a human understanding of beauty. It is he is pursuing this, and it is very much tainted by the fact that he's a goddamn vampire, right? So like his aspirings towards a platonic understanding of beauty and martial prowess down a dark vampiric path. He's not evil in the like hand-wringing, monstrous, wants to see the world burn and take over
Capital
everything.
E.
Yeah, but he's definitely a version of evil, right? Like this is the guy. However, like he's given off
He's
big
a villain to
Zemeckis.
somebody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He gives off big
He's evil
Zemeckis
flavored.
vibes to me, by the way. Like he's not, but he does give off some big Zemeckis vibes. In that, like Zemeckis will be very hospitable. Like they have this code of honor about them, this super twisted and warped code of honor, where like if you're a guest in their castle, they'll feed you and so on and so forth, all the while working towards like tearing out your intestines and making you into like a lamp or something. Like it's very much the like I think it's very much influenced like Dracula's a Zemeckis, by the way, like canonically in the World of Darkness, and that's informed by like in Bram Stoker's Dracula, how, by the way, not allergic to sunlight in the
Yeah,
book.
it's very interesting.
But anyway, he's very sympathetic to the caitiff plight, and his island almost existed as a haven for caitiffs, but they have to. It's like where like a caitiff in normal kindred society, Camarilla kindred society, might basically be led down, like basically put on a path toward just being executed and not really have much of a chance. He gives them a chance, but their chance is in his warped pursuit of this prowess and beauty and stuff like that. So like, again, from a sincere place, but yeah. All right, so right on. Well, thanks for stopping by. Elle is one of my favorite humans, so I'm sure they brighten up your channel as well, Archangelic. So, speaking of bright, this is the opposite of bright. We find ourselves on an island that is sort of haloed in a preternatural fog and mist that rolls off of Lake Michigan, the kind of fog that you would find in Silent Hill, right? Like just pea soup would be an understatement, and every shape and shadow you see in the distance is definitely a pyramid head. Luckily, you're on the island where the mist and fog sort of abates. You can see the perfect, like a perfect kaleidoscope of stars and solar entities or solar bodies, right? Like whilst you're on this island, the light pollution of Chicago might sort of dilute it, even on a island just sort of off the horizon. It's light pollution's kind of a big deal, right? However, you seem to be in, like, if anyone wants to roll a quick academics.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
We're here to roll dice.
Interwit.
Probably int.
Int.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Sorry, int.
Wunderbar. Ooh, 3 successes.
Three successes.
Also,
Okay.
3 successes.
Oh,
Well,
we're the 3 crew.
for those of you that got 3 successes,
The 3 of us, all 3 of us.
and I love 3. 3 is my favorite number.
Roll a 3, baby.
I don't understand. And 3 people rolled a 3.
Yeah,
That's
perfect.
like having 9 successes. So I'm just gonna like say everything I want to say. Okay. You can see like all the constellations perfectly. You see extra stars that like you would need to be at an observatory or like a planetarium to see. Like you can't, like, if you're like in any sort of modicum of civilization, there are these like spatial entities you can't see. You can actually see like nebula, and so you can see the sort of drift and stuff. Like it is quite frankly beautiful. However, the constellations are not in the right place for being in the center of America. I love that pointed knocking that just happened. That actually kind of added some atmosphere there.
Yeah.
So one of us at least is a worldly traveler at one point of in their
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Would
Jack.
we? I was gonna say Ashley, but sure,
Oh,
Jack
Jack
too.
was. I mean, Jack before they died was
Yeah.
a worldly traveler, and then
Ashley after she
If you
died.
consider that Chicago is the world,
What I mean, would we know for those who have been traveled abroad or something like that?
That's the thing. Is it kind of it places you like sort of like, so there's multiple triangles, and I don't buy into triangles, but they do make for cool narrative when you're narrative shorthand. There's a more than one triangle, like the Bermuda Triangle. There's like an Alaskan Triangle, and as I recall, there's one around Ireland. It places you around there. That's how these constellations read, as if you sort of like, no,
I mean, at least it's not Kansas.
it's not like they're flipped upside down or anything. Okay, it's just like you would be if you would be navigating via the stars, right? They kind of roughly translate to latitudes and longitudes, right? Like how you have an understanding of approximately, like they're not who was it who figured out time and found the pyramids because they were following constellations that the Egyptians just happened to be also building the pyramids to be in synchronization with. Like they just hypothesized that, like, and they found the pyramids that way. They're like, oh yeah, like the pyramids of Giza, because those pyramids are synced up with certain constellations, and then they were like in like Europe or England, and they're like, I bet you if I follow these constellations to here, like I'm going to find some sort of big body or something as well, because other civilizations certainly would see the sky and build things. But point is like you can use them to navigate, but it's going to alter your angle of perception. That's my understanding of it anyway. I could be totally wrong. I'm not a star studier or star scientist.
Astronomer?
My brain reached for the word astronomer, couldn't find it, and was like, nope, we're just gonna keep moving.
You had to explain the word out in several words. I have that issue. Can Ashley take a picture of the sky?
Yes. If you have something other than a cell phone, Ambrose would have had cell phones collected. Camarilla rules type thing, like you can't bring a cell phone into Elysium. That's island
old Camarilla.
No, that's back to new Camarilla. Since the SI like started doing stuff, like they're talking with birds and shit, like courier pigeons. A lot of us STs aren't monsters, so we kind of hand wave the no cell phones thing because it's just a bridge too far. So we assume that everyone uses burners and stuff. Yeah. Jaq is an archaeologist sort. Does Jaq have like a 35 millimeter like?
Oh yeah.
Or like a spy cam or something.
Jaq is an archaeologist, and Jaq is like I think that Jaq really loved like movies and like that whole industry. So I think that they'd have a variety of like different kinds of cameras. So I think they would probably have something on them where they could like take pictures, especially because they don't really trust cell phones.
Mm-hmm. It's the sort of thing where you'd have to actually develop the film in a dark room.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that they would like kind of sit out there for a little while and take pictures from various angles.
Okay.
Perfect.
Weird.
So you might even see like Ashley maybe go for her cell phone, like, and then like like looking at the stars, like kind of go. Yeah, go ahead.
But we are in the 21st century.
I'm aware of that.
Oh, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking, but I haven't used an. I think the last time I used a camera like that was in the 90s, early 2000s.
I use it on all my digs, so I keep it on me.
Digs. Do you dig up dead bodies?
Sometimes when there are dead bodies in the tomb, but generally it is more about the artifacts. I was somewhat of an archaeologist back when I was
I
flesh and
see.
blood.
Huh.
Cool.
Interesting.
So yeah,
Uh,
you get some photos then. Ashley's good idea. Sort of look at that. You're already bonding as a coder. You're sort of like, feeding and not feeding, playing off of each other.
Yeah, I mean,
We're not feeding on each other,
So-
please.
not yet.
Why? Not
Look.
yet.
No.
Rory's hunger is what, down to 1?
Or 2.
You split a pig.
Yeah.
Because I ain't averse to feeding on thems that deserve it, but I draw the line at Ashley. Her blood's
What is it? A strict no venture diet?
Strict no venture. Strict no blue bloods.
Rory does actually laugh out loud.
Did I say something funny?
No, not you.
Oh, clearly it was me. It's
No,
all
it's
right.
it's an inside joke.
Oh,
At this point, Sasha is still with the coterie. We were wound just a little bit to where
am
you're
I?
sort of,
I thought.
we were around just a little bit to where
Did
like
we
you're
re-
about
did
you're being showed your rooms, but you're like
Did-
you're kind of like
did we
I'm not
rewind to the part where last
Stargate.
session she was remember, or what was it? The sense of loss, but she doesn't remember what she lost. Is that this part?
Probably.
Yeah, after they were talking to Ambrose, I think it was.
yeah.
I watched the end of the session.
Yeah. There's that
Okay.
that sort of happened as you were transitioning from the dinner to being shown your rooms and getting
that
ready to suit up for
Is
Ambrose's.
that before?
The
Is that
Ambrose
before or
games?
after the well? The Ambrose games.
We're after the
Is it
well.
before?
Yeah.
Okay.
We are post well.
Okay. No, Sasha
And-
is
Go ahead.
kind of half listening to the conversation, but is kind of just internalizing.
Okay. Now, I don't want to beat a dead well here, but the well is
Get it?
the only thing that is like sort of authentically of its time and place. But it, like, were you to properly study it, like take little scrapings of the brick and stuff like that, and do those sort of things, it would have some conflicting information regarding, like, wells and the, like when like Gallic culture was still, around, and
So
when they were
there's something
Jack
unusual.
is.
yeah, like it again. I believe I mentioned that the well, I guess to put a finer point on it, it's as if it was built by people of Gallic origin and Gallic descent, but
Yeah, and then-
here rather than
rather than there. Yeah.
Yeah. Jack is like, once they're done taking photos of the sky and kind of watching the sky, their eyes keep flicking back to the well, and they clearly want to go over and do more things with the well, but then they look over at Ashley and they're like,
Jack, are you feeling unwell?
Rory.
Literally, you see Sasha go.
Rory, you know puns are the lowest form of comedy, right?
It's right.
I don't actually know that.
There's somewhat of a punishment, I've heard.
Below and above.
They ain't gonna help you. Pray to the gods that are here.
Storyteller, did I see which way Ambrose went, or is he leading us to our rooms? Is this a walk and talk?
It's kind of a walk and
Or
talk,
did
but
he,
like I would say, like with the photography, there was like sort of a moment where you lagged. I think as I had it, Ambrose sort of like once Ambrose got you to the dorms, Ambrose sort of like giddily like went off to make preparations, and the definitely not Terry Crews ghoul, you know, legally distinct from Terry Crews ghoul, Ghoul
can
Terry.
I
It
excuse
was
myself?
the one lingering around to like show you your specific room and answer any questions and take care. Remember Terry?
Oh, so
Fuck, I
I've
think I
got
just
Terry.
named. I think I had a different name for the ghoul, but now it's Terry.
No, you
Terry.
named
No,
him-
it was
you
Terry.
named
Okay.
him- you
Oh,
named
it was
him
when I
Terry.
named him Terry. Then and I had talked about his physique of being like this swole musculature. I had named him Terry, and I'm like, oh crap, I just put Terry Crews in my own head.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah. So
You-
the ghoul Terry was like even more swole than Terry Crews. Like even a little bit bigger and stuff like that. But he was the one that you had sort of imprinted on and stuff.
Actually, if I may attempt to just break away from the coterie while they're distracted having their conversations,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go, like, not even announce that I'm leaving, just silence of death on, just leave while they're not paying attention. I'm
Wow.
actually gonna go see if I can catch up with Ambrose at some point. Carry on as
Sasha,
you would.
you and I have bonded over fucking.
Oh, she smoke bomb again? Yeah, she does that.
Why is she
Yeah.
always
Oh,
doing
that's a common thing?
that? Did you take Terry with you?
I assume that Terry's just following me because that's what he does.
See, he's the one who's supposed to kind of help you get to help the coterie get to the room. However, he's in a predicament because he's also the one that you auspexed. Don't you have lingering kiss or whatever?
No,
No. Okay.
actually, I do not.
But you did give him some. But you did give him some like directives of like, you know, just go along with the type stuff. So he's at an impasse. Do you want him to follow you? Yes. No.
I am going to tell him before I leave. Meet me in my room later.
Okay.
As
All right. In which
directive.
case, crisis averted. He remains with the coterie. You go off on your own.
Yeah.
You hear in your freaking head, and it almost has this like sort of garbled like 1950s radio quality to it, like you know, Howard Cosell, like hello, you know, I'm Howard Cosell. Not quite the same cadence. It's Ambrose. And you recall it's more of a feature of the island than Ambrose himself. He does not have telepathy. Off the island, he can't do it. And he can't do it to the others per se yet. But apparently it still works on you. He says, the bonus round has already begun, my dear. For you.
Is this a one-way situation? Can I respond back?
Yeah, you can respond back, but you can't like when the comms are open, so to speak. You can respond back like by like you know, like it's like a two-way telepathy when he opens the channel, and when he closes it, it stops. And again, it's more of a feature of the island, and you did a lot of like ritual combat and ritual preparation and stuff like that. Not in the like Tremere or Rory sense, but a lot more like the sort of like you know, pseudo martial arts, meditations and body prep and things along those lines.
Okay.
1980s
So,
1980s schlocky action stuff.
So if
you said Terry and Terry Silver, and like that's definitely in there too.
Yeah. So if he says that the trial has already begun, I'm just kind of telepathically gonna say, I thought maybe we could catch up first, but I guess not. Can
Hang
I
on,
roll?
hang on. You know what? I can belay the sniper. Meet me in the usual place. We'll talk. That's a good starting line anyway.
May
Beef.
I roll?
You might.
an edit?
I'm afraid that Cheryl is quite good. What was Sniper Fox's real name, actually? Or Sniper Wolf, sorry. Do we ever learn?
Cheryl sounds hot.
Cheryl sounds hot. You're good with
My
Cheryl?
vote is Cheryl.
All right, we'll stick with Cheryl. I like to
Cheryl
wear my
sounds hot.
I like to wear my references on my sleeve, but yeah.
Mhm.
I'm okay with that.
Cheryl is quite good at her job, and I'm afraid that maybe if we don't have this conversation now, we might not be able to have it. So meet me at the usual spot. I'll let her know to wait. The others won't be waiting, but I'm sure you can avoid them for now.
I have a question.
You get the sense that the others doesn't mean the coterie, by the way.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I kind of got that. I am going to ask if I can roll an etiquette to see if I have recollection of how this particular special bonus round works. If this is a
He's
unique
never
thing
done
or a rare
something
thing.
exactly quite like this. This is a unique thing. You, from context clues of having been here, you're either the hunter, like he's done some hunts before style stuff, right? Like where the
Sure.
most dangerous game where you hunt, somebody will be on the island and
Chickens.
they have to last 24 hours with the rest
Knife
of
Monopoly.
they have to last 24 hours with the rest of the compound hunting them, or the rest of the initiates hunting them. He's done some shit like that before. You get the sense that this is like that. You're hunting each other. However, you're at a little bit of a disadvantage as you surrendered your, except for, oh no, I don't think he'd make you surrender your weapons. However, you use shotguns and this person uses a sniper rifle. No, you have your weapons. The only thing he really made you surrender would have been like the cell phones and like the standard Camarilla bullshit, like the standard tradition stuff. For the most part, like
Sure.
to just kind of keep things moving. I'm not going to go through your inventory sheets. Yeah, you have like your basic weapons and stuff like that. So yeah. He hasn't done like a sniper challenge before. You suspect that has to do with the fact that he one, reveres you quite well, and two, he likes his challenges to sort of challenge the person directly. He knows you prefer close combat and shotguns. He's gonna make you fight a sniper, right? Like his challenges are going to sort of test your specific abilities. He's not as familiar with your coterie, so they might be more generic, but for you, he's probably pulled out the stops with this one. Did that answer your question, or did I kind of talk around it?
I just wanted to kind of figure out in terms of my personal experience if I could kind of infer some things of how to deal with this, because even if it's a brand new thing, there's got to be some.
Go ahead and roll etiquette.
Yeah,
go ahead and roll your etiquette. Etiquette, and then recollection is intelligence. Recall is intelligence. I'd even allow a etiquette resolve, because I love resolve being used on mental and emotional type situations.
Okay, cool. Resolve? Sure, I'll take it. One, two. Okay, sorry. I know how to do math. I'm gonna rouse.
Oh God, is
for
this
the
island
dice.
just 80s action movies .island? Like right now, I've basically done the Predator, like the Predator challenge.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I kind of love it. All right, let's see. I did not get hungrier.
Meryl was. I probably pulled out Cheryl because I wanted to, because Meryl was right at the top of my brain. But I'm like, nope, can't be Meryl. And I jumped over to Cheryl because Sniper, and I just blended Meryl with Cheryl.
Meryl Streep as the sniper.
Well, no, because Meryl is
That would be
Meryl
so
is
hot.
That would be. I love that. We need to make that a thing.
yeah, canonically it's Meryl Streep.
It's
Incredible. I am going to
younger.
romance.
What was
I'm
it?
going-
Death
No,
Becomes Her?
don't you dare say younger. Meryl Streep is hot.
She is. She's
five
like a guilt
five
or whatever.
successes with a possible bestial failure result.
Okay.
I got a skull on my blood die.
Oh no.
Just a little.
Just a little skull? Tiny skull?
Just one possible bestial failure.
5 is a really solid roll, however. And this is off of etiquette to recall. You would understand that being a gamer, and I don't mean, video gamer or any sense of that. Like you would understand that Ambrose is a gamer. Like he loves gamesmanship. He loves like classical games and chess battles and stuff like that. He loves like the game of politics and being a kindred. The solutions to these always have multiple things. Violence is absolutely a solution. However, he would never. However, there have been situations where like somebody was in like a hunt game and they bribed one of the other guards to like protect them and keep them safe for the 24 hours and stuff like that. And Ambrose applauded the cunning. Like he is a capital G gamer. He loves that sort of stuff. The island, pretty much the only stipulation is like off the island is out of bounds. And that's classic. Like there's nothing is out of play. Nothing is out of nothing is out of bounds in terms of like what you should do. His stipulations he's laid out is like you hunt each other. She's shooting you with a sniper rifle, so like torpor is on the line, but you would take such a severe amount of damage from like a couple rounds from the sniper rifle that you will be like well negative and be in torpor for a good while without specific help. I'm adding the stipulation as an ST just to like make the risk reward higher, that you risk NPCing your character. That was a stipulation for me. Okay, that and the explanation is that like you're in such a severe torpor that it's an NPC amount of time. It's like a year to recover from the torpor, and that means like you'd have to play another character for that year, quote unquote, in game.
Okay.
If you're looking for cheat codes with that really, really great roll, there's usually a hack. There's almost always some sort of secret. It's game specific when he does games. Like there are the straightforward battles where it's just two people fight like in a a squared circle sort of situation.
Sure.
Those would be more of an exception, like where it's just fight each other. But those ones are usually, the stakes are usually much lower on a fight like that. Or he's doing it with people who aren't combatants, like they're not melee fighters, and that then he'll put them in the melee fight to hone them, to sharpen them. I guess I talked a lot. I hope I answered it with the peripheral. But do you have more of a specific thing you're trying to get out of this?
I just needed like a starting point for how to react. If he's saying the game has started, like I'm trying
that
to
means that the sniper's already like
like
on the
first of
island
all,
trying to find a place to like get the drop on you and shoot
yeah,
you. It means that like he gave you context clues, and with your really really great roll, it's not going to be just you versus a sniper. There's going to be other obstacles, whether it be traps or
right.
other combatants trying to hunt you.
Okay.
When he says the game has started, the people, the sniper Cheryl is already trying to shoot you, and he's got probably an assortment of. He's got like monsters. There'll be monsters on this island. There's monsters hunting you right now.
Great.
Maybe the real monster
Fantastic.
hunter is the friends we made along the way.
Those
Right.
monsters are good Cenobites.
And
I
then
have
this is where I
no.
would hit my if my
Mhm.
close-up cam didn't screw up our RPGs. It's not set up to switch between RPG mode and this. I would do a close-up here where I drink my cup and it's got Michael Myers on it and it says "Slay all day," and I would drink it really purposefully and slowly with a close-up on it, as if that's.
Well, Michael, you're on a cup.
So
Slay all day.
there. I would like to. I'm not aware of where the painting ended up, but I still want to use it wherever it ended up. I don't know
On the
where
island?
it was
Roll a luck
on
check.
the island. Cool. I don't know. Okay, what number is that?
10.
That is a 10.
Ooh, in Ambrose's personal chambers. Do with this what you will. The usual place, by the way, isn't his personal chambers. It's like a specific spot on the island, like he likes. It's
right.
It would
That's
definitely
a shame.
Be a like a
Wow.
cliffside, thing where you could easily push him into the lake, potentially ocean if you wanted to.
I'm gonna tell y'all something funny, remind y'all of what I did, but I'm pretty sure that painting was a self-portrait and the note attached to it was from your favorite daughter.
Yeah, the note was from your favorite daughter.
Well, yeah, and he's and like a family like a family portrait, like like I've got family portraits in my bed. Not portraits. I'm not a monster or a weirdo. I have pictures of my family in my in my bedroom. Like I don't see what that would be weird.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Unless
activate
you
thought through the
painted a
painting.
self-portrait as a saucy self-portrait and sent it to your dad figure. That would be weird. On
That would be
multiple
weird.
levels.
No.
It'd be weird that you painted it that way, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, this one's for the boudoir." Like
No.
but like
I
he
will
looks at it
activate-
like he looks at it like a proud father and not a perv, and that makes it even weirder. Where he's like, "Oh, my baby's all grown up and painting spicy self-portraits."
He's
You know,
so
he's like, "I'm so
talented.
proud." Like that's like,
Okay. In that case, I'm going to I would like to share the senses with Terry. I left him behind with
you
the
did feed
coterie
off of
side.
him, so you have a familiarity with him. Rouse.
Uh,
God damn it! I might as well just leave my core rule book, like just on share the senses.
I got hungrier, but that's a
It
thing.
works. Well, I mean, you still
Jump.
there might be he's a
Hold on,
ghoul
where-
of somebody else, which might allow him that like slight resistance.
Oh, right. I hadn't considered that.
Yeah, he's not like a straight human.
Hold on.
Like he's not a straight mortal. Yeah.
Sorry. Wait. I had it open. Here it is. Resolve plus aspects. Say what? Okay. Resolve plus aspects difficulty 3. Yo. Unaware of intrusion. Blah blah blah. Okay. Sense the unseen.
You will find that in a
Yeah, I
similar...
guess you can make it more difficult.
No,
if
it's
necessary.
I think I'd make it a difficulty 4 just because Ambrose's blood is pretty potent.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Resolve plus aspects. Yes.
And remember, if you have a heightened blood potency, half your blood potency pool gets added to this. All active rolls
Rounded down.
always round down. Yeah. So if your blood potency is
Okay,
3, you get +1.
sweet.
Once you get to 4, you
I
get
keep
+2.
forgetting that.
Yeah, it's
keep
a
forgetting
rule
that.
that's easy to forget because it's not like anywhere obvious in the rules.
Oh, right. Duh. It does say +1d10 next to power bonus.
Yeah, I think your character sheet might mention a power bonus,
Yeah,
and then
there's a spot for it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's half your blood potency, rounded down.
Okay.
Maybe they say rounded up, but
yeah.
What if my blood potency is 1.5?
Great.
At 1, you don't get a bonus, is what it works out to.
Ooh, I rolled exactly 4 successes.
1.69.
Ooh.
Excellent. So you have Terry Census. He is currently like showing, and now we catch the time back up to what we had done last week. Where they've been shown their rooms. Ashley comes out in like the Kill Bill jumpsuit.
Yep.
What's Michael rocking? Or sorry, what's Michael rocking? Michael's rocking a great shirt that says cast fireball solves everything.
Yeah. This is what Rory's wearing. Rory's not changing.
Yeah, but Rory's not changing. So Rory's wearing that. Like, does he have like a duster on, or just like?
No, well, he was wearing a very, very nice like dress
blazer
jacket earlier in the evening, but then somebody compared him to Elon Musk, so we set it on fire.
Sorry.
Oh.
That was last week.
That last week was an wasn't the same. Not viscosity. Viciousness. It's another word that means viciousness. Last week was just a disposable comment because the motherfucker was wearing a blazer and a t-shirt in the Oval Office during like a major press briefing. But it really is like the tech bro. It really is the tech bro tuxedo these days. It's a really expensive blazer and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And that's what you were rocking. That's not disparaging. I actually like the look personally. I wear that when I dress up too.
That man is very annoying.
But I'm sorry I spoiled it. So you're rocking a t-shirt and like jeans right now, like
and probably a messenger bag that has
fireball, like sulfur balls, like prepped and stuff like that in it. So a couple components. Okay, right on.
Yeah. Various things I might need. Yeah.
What is Elle wearing? What are they rocking?
Did they Hades Town shirt and my lesbian chainmail necklace.
Sweet.
But what is Jaq wearing?
However, Jaq is Jaq. What options were provided of like clothing?
I mean, it was the gamut of wardrobe. Like there anything
from
the
gambit,
like the gambit, yeah.
Camo. Yes, the gambit.
Yeah, the gambit of options. But there was like a gi, anything from like a gi, to a kimono to like paramilitary like fatigues and flak jacket, full on to Kill Bill like leather jumpsuits or biker suits and stuff like that.
Jaq wants something that they can easily move in, but that is also going to give them a little bit of protection.
Oh yeah, the Scarlett Johansson jumpsuit style thing.
Black Widow.
Yeah, the Black Widow / X-Men, leathers, right? Where
absolutely, that's going to be their leather that they're rocking. They still have their combat boots on. I don't think that they would have their tits out, sadly, because they're like, that's where my heart lives.
Yeah. So in any case, the Kill Bill outfit, and if you rock one of like the X-Men thing, it counts as like leather armor, because heavy biker gear in the book counts as like light armor. So if you're wearing enough leather, it does count as light armor, which armor is kind of useless in VTM for vampires, which is because it just changes like an amount of ag damage to superficial. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it kind of work like soak. Used to work. So it's going to soak 1 damage. per attack. And then since it's light leather, I'm gonna say like it can soak 1 damage. We'll say 6 times, and then it's cosmetic after that because it's been wrecked and
then it looks cool.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Okay.
It will look cool.
So this is a house rule to make armor useful because Dante has has armored plainclothes.
Aggravated damage, correct?
It'll soak any damage. It just
Okay.
it soaks a single point of damage.
6 times.
6 times.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what Jaq is currently rocking. They would have some form of like gloves in either on them or like in their bag. That way they have some hand protection because they're not stupid. They know that they might be getting into combat and it fucking hurts when you punch somebody.
Yeah.
A lot of their mentality is they're still going about this like they're flesh and blood, like they're a human person. And they're like, oh, I don't want to bust my knuckles up, so I'm going to have gloves on so that I can protect my knuckles.
Yeah, right on.
Protect your dick.
So Terry sees them sort of stepping out in their regalia as you share the census.
Hey there.
And an interesting feature of sharing the census with Terry is in that time it takes you to travel over towards Ambrose. You hear Ambrose talking in his head, basically saying, once they're prepared, don't rush them. Be sure to lead them to the arena.
I will say Jaq did negotiate so that we know what we'll have, like, we'll be told what's going on ahead of time. Jaq fast talked Ambrose.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, he would definitely call it the amphitheater or something like that, like something.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
So Sasha will make her way to where the usual place is,
And
wherever
Terry,
that is.
on the tip of his tongue is Terry about to tell you by way of Ambrose sort of like what challenges await you and stuff like that from your fast talk success. You see Ambrose hanging out by the cliff, not conspicuously close enough to its edge, unfortunately, to easily push him over, but taking in the night sky and more pointedly actually watching the way the waves crash on the rocks below. Like that's what has his attention, not the beauty of the stars. It's a small clearing, sheer cliff face, straight drop down, and it would be on the backside of the island. And let's take a quick, 5-minute intermission, if everyone's all right with that. So I can top off my water and coffee.
Yes.
And folks can stretch their limbs. Maybe tell someone they care about that they love them and stretch their limbs as well. Maybe not in that order. I don't know. Do what makes you feel good. Do it makes you. But
I'm gonna go make my little brother taller.
There you go. Stretch their limbs. All right.
On the rack.
Oh God.
I recently looked into what, not looked into on purpose. I recently had an understanding of what the rack did, but I had it described to me in great detail recently, and I'm like, wow, that's actually way worse than I thought it was.
Yeah,
and with that detail, or with that little blurb, we will
go check it out yourself while we're on break.
There you go. BRB, everybody.
Go crawl into a rack.
It's like I actually have the book. It's really thin actually for the Island of Dr. Moreau or whatever it is.
Can I roll to roundhouse kick? No, kidding.
The island?
So my plan was to
roundhouse kick. There's a whole island.
yes, you may roll to roundhouse kick the whole island. Before we move on, Shelly's really good roll, and your world traveledness of Ashley, it technically wouldn't get maybe as specific,
Yeah.
but I said Ireland, but
Yeah.
again, because you're not going to be like bang on unless you're a mathematician.
Mhm.
But it's actually would be you were in Scotland, which is still
Okay.
Gaelic,
okay.
right? You have
Northwestern Europe.
You have Scots Gaelic and you have Irish Gaelic, and they're all under the umbrella of Celtic. But the big thing is how your roll was like 5, right?
We all had
No.
3.
Oh
No, we all had
it was a
threes.
9. It was a 9. So
Yeah.
you're all corroborating this together, by the way. You
Yeah.
like put your heads together, and this was because I like the number 3. We had 3 players roll 3.
Triple kiss. Yeah,
yeah.
it's all good.
Kiss.
I don't know
Call 'em
which
up.
one of you would be familiar with. It might actually be a Rory thing. Would
Ooh,
be familiar
yay,
with,
Rory thing.
with the Falkirk Triangle, which is in Scotland.
If it's occult nonsense, parapsychology,
nonsense.
it's Rory. Yeah.
Falkirkin.
Yeah, the Falkirk Triangle. It's
Oh, the Falcon. Yeah.
Falkirk.
Falkor.
Falkirk.
Kirk.
I want a luck dragon.
Yeah, so the Falkirk Triangle. It's like a Bermuda Triangle. It's actually the one with the most like UFO sightings of all of them. And by UFO, it doesn't just mean like aliens. It can be like sprites and willows of the wisp and stuff like that. Also like bizarro disappearances that like peaked, I think, in the 1950s and stuff like that.
Less tropical.
That's why Statty is silent. He's getting sucked off into the triangle.
He's getting
Maybe
sucked off.
he's getting sucked
and-
into the fucking well. Maybe he's in the well.
And
We can
and
always-
The well
with,
is sucking
with,
him off
with
now.
you hear yes, the well is sucking off Statty, and you just hear like random moaning once, like
Oh,
It's just-
No. Stop.
I'm kidding about that, but you do hear him quip a time or two. Like he's not completely gone, but he is more silent than usual. The times he has quipped were like distracted, to say the least. However, you know about the with your 9, because I'm counting it as a 9 because it's like in Final Fantasy when you roll like your health pool is 777. It just gives you a random ass buff. You happen to roll 333 with everybody. So I'm treating it as though you rolled a 9, which is an insane margin of success for crazy things. Like a difficulty of 5 is insanity. So like that you got a 9, nearly doubled it. So you know about the Falkirk Triangle, and like you'd be in the constellation that would like roughly put you on like Ireland, Scotland area. More specifically, then you kind of compile it. You'd know about the Falkirk Triangle, and if you were really good at math, you would know that it seems like you're within that Falkirk Triangle.
Okay.
That's what the stars say.
And
And
if I had a goddamn phone, I could verify this real
with
fucking
Rory's didn't I already do the thing where the watches all the times are different?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone wearing a watch, all the times are different. Like they don't have the same time on them. It's not like if you pull nice. If you pull out like if you pull out if you pulled out a compass, it wouldn't be like the compass would spin, but it wouldn't be pointing to like polar north. It would be pointing the wrong direction. Like you can tell north because of like Polaris. You go like that's actually north, and you'd look at your compass and it would be pointing the wrong direction. And part of your occult knowledge is one of the hypotheses about all the major triangles. There's one like in Japan or near off the coast of Japan. There's one off the coast of Australia. There's one obviously everyone knows about the Bermuda Triangle. Wales has one. They're all over the fucking place. I think there's one in the Indian Sea. One hypothesis on account of like a ship going missing in the Bermuda Triangle and then just showing up on the coast of Ireland once is that they're like all like portals to each other, that they're all linked. Also, if you played Rifts, one of my favorite RPGs of all time, by Palladium, their thing is that like the triangles are like major nexus power points, major nexuses of like of magical energy. Atlantis is actually in the Bermuda Triangle, and that's why Atlantis is super powerful or whatever. They're all gateways to each other if you know the right runes. And you kind of putting your heads all together understand that. You would also then, and I think this would be a Jaq, because Jaq did a bunch of history of the area and researched it type thing.
Oh yeah.
Jaq would interject that the Great Lakes are supposed to be a triangle as well. Like Lake Michigan itself has one within it, but then the Great Lakes themselves have a triangle that goes from like Lake Superior to Lake Michigan, and then like Lake Erie. So like there's like, one might say that like if you were to take like lenses, right, the way you like hyper focus a lens is by having like a lens and a smaller lens, and you can hyper focus a lens. That if the triangle thing is real, you would have you'd have the Great Lakes triangle, and then you would have Lake Michigan triangle, and it would like create some sort of hyper focus. Now, you can't reliably say where this island is in Lake Michigan on account of looking at the constellations and stuff and being like, this is like somewhere in Scotland, right?
Yeah, less than helpful. Yeah.
But if you could like do a flyover and see the island, it would be a safe hypothesis that this island might be within that triangle within Lake Michigan.
Okay.
See, we're a triangle within a triangle. Now we have formed our own triangle. So
it's why I had to, as I was taking my dogs out, I was sitting there thinking about all three of them rolled threes, and like and there's this whole thing like subplot. The triangles thing is a little bit of I don't want to call it a MacGuffin, but it's a little bit of a MacGuffin. But I'm like, I gotta tell them it because three threes, like you formed a triangle yourselves, and then you would be the third triangle of the Superior to Michigan to you. Like I had to tell you about it.
So yeah, we are a triangle in a triangle in a triangle, and I don't know, laser eyes. Who knows, man?
You kind of workshop this information all together.
Well,
I mean, there's the rule of three. That's pretty well established, no?
Yeah.
True. My grandmother used to talk about the rule of three all the time.
Yeah,
Fucking airplanes.
Is the island ascending into space?
No, my grandmother used to talk about the rule of three all the time. And, you know, the threefold law. And...
Yeah,
threes are fairly common. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mama told me stories about the rule of three, how
Boxes
it was to be
of
respected.
chocolate? I'm kidding.
No, that's my mare. My mama's my grandma. You got a mama, you got a papa, you got a mare, you got a pair.
Sure.
Unks.
That's uncles?
That is uncles.
Yes. I did study French. My mother insisted that I learn French whenever I was younger.
You learned the fancy stuff, not the real stuff. Just saying. Asian.
Okay.
I mean, I just learned Latin, so I don't know.
Oh, I know Latin too.
Oh, I learned that as well. I also learned Gaelic. And
That
Yep,
is
yeah,
fascinating.
that one.
my
honestly,
grandmother insisted on it, but
I'd love to
Uh,
expand my languages. So if you have the
oh,
time, I'd
it's
love to
been
learn.
well.
Oh, speaking of,
Probably
so
time
in
intensive a little bit, yeah. But
that's all right. I got time.
I mean, that's
What
true. We theoretically we got all the time in the world,
exactly,
except that we
mon ami?
never actually have any time to do anything.
It's true. We have not enough time to do anything.
Really? I
Yeah.
mean, I spent the last couple of years. I had nothing but time. You know.
Unfortunately,
Well, it's like the last like I don't know 3 to 6 months has just been bah 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 bah. You know,
That sounds pretty nice.
but,
Not gonna lie.
and don't get me wrong, it's only going to get worse with my promotion.
I mean,
So.
I'm falling way behind on like my watch list. So
Oh, your
Pretty much.
movies. That's right.
Yeah.
We have a. Well, I don't know if it's there anymore.
Hmm.
Our little home theater.
Oh, that's nice.
I mean, they didn't burn the house down, so we can.
They burnt a lot of it down.
Yeah, but we got to put it out. So I mean,
Speaking of which, I need to work on insurance claims. Oh goodness.
Oh, if you need help, I can help you fake a couple of those.
I don't need to fake it. I have plenty of
Yeah.
aliases. I have legitimate insurance in my home.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. You ever need documents forged? You know where to go.
Good
Uh,
to know.
Yeah. Shit. Good to
And
know.
so Terry's about to lead you to the amphitheater and give you some info, and Sasha observes this via share the census. They kind of like come back out the you know, getting dressed and geared up, and then they have this little conversation as that kind of dawns on them. And Sasha, you see Ambrose standing there, not conspicuous, unfortunately, not conspicuously close to the edge of the cliff. He's sort of staring at the waves crashing and so on and so forth.
She turns off Silence of Death, so like it's a little more obvious that she's approaching. She doesn't want to startle the old man and accidentally get murked before she even has the challenge like started. So she
Go ahead.
no, she just makes it a little more obvious that she's approaching as to not startle him.
Sasha. I just picture him with a goblet of something to drink anyway. Like, even though he's just out in the wilderness, like staring at waves, and he's just like, Sasha.
One of those.
It's more of a chalice, I think, than a goblet. Sasha, just my favorite student. What's on your mind? And he like takes a sip. Besides the impending, danger I'm about to put your friends in.
I'm not the most concerned about that. I'm confident they'll manage. Actually, you know the reasons why my coterie is motivated to pay you a visit. I'm here for a more personal discussion.
Oh. Well, I thought lending you a small army was a pretty big deal. I thought that would really kind of take up all the space in our dealings, in our conversation, in our exchange. Why are you here? What's your real reason then? Your real reason.
It's not that the small army isn't part of the reason, but my personal reason is I have some questions I need answered, and I thought maybe you might have the answers.
Okay.
Finding some blanks in my memory that I can't explain. I suspect it's because of something I did, but anyway, do you remember all those years ago, the circumstances around our first meeting?
You were dropped off. Wait a second. No. No, we were... I think you were still in college then, were you not? You had a... building up to a show that you never managed to put on. I overheard you talking about it, and you piqued my interest. There was something visceral in the way you described the mundane art you had intended to display. It spoke to a perspective on, at the time, your mortal world that I found fascinating, and I chose to embrace you. Is that what you're asking about?
Yeah, I find myself in a bit of a situation where pieces of my life are starting to get rewritten, pieces of my history. So I thought I would compare notes with you.
That's not what you really came to ask, is it? I taught you to lie better than that.
What do you think I came to ask?
Oh, it could be a great number of things, I suppose. The
You
missing
haven't seen
memory.
me in a while. You haven't seen me in a while. You don't know what motivates me now.
I keep tabs on all my graduates. And you're right, I don't know what motivates you now, but I know that you've been in a mood. That violent streak we tried to get a handle on whilst you were with me in my care seems to be coming back with a vengeance.
It comes and it goes now.
And then
I'd like to
there's
think
the
that
more. Go ahead.
I'd like to think that the lessons you taught me have stuck in some way.
And then there's the more carnal endeavors. I suppose there's I taught you control. You don't seem in control of late.
What gives you that impression?
About 20 dead agents of a sort. It wasn't the nature of their deaths, it was they definitely deserved it. It was the feasting. It was the revelry.
You don't appreciate sending a message?
Oh, I usually expect you to be more creative in your messaging and less careless.
I'd like to think that my methods instill fear in mortals. But
And
you know,
fear led to the first Inquisition. Fear, in Mary Shelley's great novel, led to hunting monsters. Kine are unpredictable when they're afraid. They're at their most powerful when they're afraid. And I taught you that. But you seem to have forgotten the lesson. Hence, the necessity for control. Can't say I approve of who you've fallen in with. Can't say I disapprove either. They seem to be thinking a lot smaller than I thought you once would. But again, I didn't think you were here to relive the past, per se. Or have me grade uh, your behavior.
Well, uh, the coterie seems to have decided that having you as an ally was in our benefit. So,
Oh,
small army and all of that. So that's that. My come to my attention that I don't know. Um Someone that I once associated with has made enemies in the Camarilla court, and I was wondering if you had any recollection of that.
recollection. Are you talking about
Um,
that exile? And he gives the like vampire Latin term for like someone who's exiled. I can't remember it off the top of my head. Rot
yeah,
Shrek is what they call friends. One of the frenzies. I can't remember what they call. Like excommunicado, vampirus
yeah.
excommunicado. That one.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm aware of him. You don't make an enemy of the Silver Tower without making headlines within kindred society, as it were. He's on the blood hunt. He's considered active for a blood hunt right now. But of course, you
Mm,
haven't been to Elysium in a while, or even to Annabelle's club to.
I've been a little busy. What do you know about what's been going on? I'm
I love on an island, not the moon. Side.
I am pretty low in the ranks of the Toreador even. I don't particularly have the best reputation, so
My
people don't tell
understanding.
me very much.
My understanding is this exile. This. Did you? What is his name so I can speak plainly? Zoran?
Zoran.
Yeah, Zoran. This Zoran, you'd almost he's fed up with the way of things it seems and has taken a radical approach to the Silver Tower, to Camarilla and Anarch even politics. He does what all of these ideologues do eventually. He's one for grand gesture and revolution, so to speak, but the vacuum always has a way of sucking the same rabble back in when the button is finally hit. All he's done is
I heard
earned enemies in every place one could.
I heard a rumor he pissed off Annabelle. That's what I'm really here to
Oh, you
dig
want to go
for.
back further?
I mean, it has somewhat to do with my history. I am
Me
a bit
pissed
curious
off
about that.
Well, you. Uh, 1 second. Did you stay on? No, you would have ended up on the compound before you met Zoran, right?
No, I think it was
Well, because
in like
Ambrose is your quote unquote sire. So did he
yeah.
sire you and then you found your way back to the compound, or did he sire you, you stayed on the compound and then went out on your own?
Well, I was out on my own and then found my way back.
Okay, so you found your way back.
Order.
All right. Your life with that man broke you. It caused you to break the masquerade. It caused so many other issues, and he might have it out of order regarding I think you broke the masquerade and then Zoran found you. Um, so it's my understanding that your life with him broke you, and you broke the masquerade. It was finding your way back to me that put you back together again. I don't have a high opinion of that man, but he did some grand gesture with Annabelle, the keeper of Elysium, and a powerful primogen in her own right, to get you here. Not directly. He didn't, go, oh, I will throw myself on my honor so that Sasha has a second chance with Ambrose. No. On the table was your head, you have to understand. He convinced Annabelle to not take your head, and in so doing allowed you an opportunity to find your way back under my wing. I don't have a high opinion of him. Never really did, but as far as grand gestures go, I suppose that was a good first one before this Camarilla terrorist business. But Sasha,
Some of
I taught you many things. Many you learned on your own. You had an aptitude, and I helped, I'd like to think, hone many things. But in all that time, I was not dishonest with you. Perhaps never telling you all the truths of the world. Perhaps not spilling my metaphoric guts. Though on occasion, my literal guts. We've had some fun. But I digress. It is not in my vision for my disciples to inundate them with lies and mistruths. Shield them, perhaps, from some of the ugliness. But ask directly what you really want to know, and I will tell you the truth of it. I can't believe you would traverse Lake Michigan for a mere, oh, tell me, is my ex-boyfriend great uwu? That's what the kids say these days, right?
I mean, the truth is that was at least in part my motivation. Sure. But mostly I've been looking for some guidance in a way that I haven't been able to find for myself out there. And she gestures out towards the mainland.
Okay.
With one of my coterie mates being a primogen now.
Yes.
I am no
as ambitious
longer
a kindred as I've ever met.
I'm no longer 100% secure with my coterie.
Why do you believe that?
Well, power changes people. That's just a fact of life, a fact of
Miss
unlife.
Dame has been used to power for over a century. I don't know that it's changed that woman so much as allowed her to indulge what's always been there. Shelley just
power changes people, and I'd like to look out for my own neck.
Well,
Just
certainly
for
you.
my own, just for my own sense of security.
Well, certainly you've accrued some power yourself, have you not? How has that changed you?
It depends on how you define power. I'm socially in no better a place than I was 10, 15 years ago.
Well, that's not
I
true.
may
Your best friend is the Ventru Primogen.
be best friend. I wouldn't call her that.
Perhaps I was being flippant with my wording, but still, your coterie mate. Coteries have a way of. When I started out, I was thrown into a coterie like so many others. It was, in fact, how I paid my dues. Before I discovered the truth of my blood, I didn't know my sire. And to make penance for her actions, I was thrown into a coterie and I had to earn the right to be considered kindred of the fief I was in. I still have ties to those coterie mates. Few things are as eternal as we are. The bonds of a coterie are one of them. For good or ill. At some point, you no longer find yourself a bunch of questors doing deeds for whatever elder takes a particular interest in you. At some point, you try to climb the silver tower yourself. At some point, you find a cause. And at some point, they take you in different directions. But there's something about that bond between fledgling kindred just trying to survive a world they just learned the truth of that imprints itself upon you. Now, I've lost a lot of fondness for my original coterie mates, but again, the bonds are still there. So I find it hard to believe that you don't have some sway or improved station as someone within your coterie improves their station. After all, have you brought it to her attention that she might not just be where she is without your assistance? Be it as a pariah to distract from her dealings, or perhaps something dirtier happened. Perhaps something at a seaside, perhaps something at a lakeside venue. Things that only you remember that maybe others would never know about. The bonds don't need to be good ones to be eternal, but in those early nights with the coterie, you see sides of each other that no other kindred gets to know. And I'm sure you've seen sides to Miss Dame. She would be aghast to learn you're willing to talk about with other kindred, not pleased with her station. No, I'm not telling you to sabotage. I'm just saying there are always angles you're not considering, Sasha. You always had a problem with myopia.
You're absolutely correct, and I would actually like to rectify that now, along with my apparent lack of control.
You have the ability to take control of both yourself and situation. You just lack the ability to see it right now. You lack the perspective, which is quite ironic for a artist, don't you think?
the irony isn't lost on me. But the only perspective I know is my own. That's why I came to seek your advice.
And I am giving it pretty freely right now.
That being said, I had a thought I wanted to share. I haven't shared this with my coterie. As far as I know, they aren't aware of this. I have been working towards gaining Annabelle's favor over time. I'm not entirely sure how far I've gotten. I haven't made the appearances that I've wanted to make publicly at her club, at her events, to have any sort of progress on that front.
Roll a wits awareness.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Can I use heightened senses?
It's visual based, so yeah.
Blah, 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 blah,
Heightened
blah,
senses is
blah.
always on unless you say otherwise. So, which makes it cool, but it also makes it a problem if someone like goes whipping around flashbang grenades and stuff.
Sure. Okay, cool. So, heightened senses means I can use my auspice on top of it? Sweet. Perfect. I roused the blood for 3 more dice and did not get hungrier. Let's go.
Nice.
Oh, damn. There's a very big pool to roll very low on. Well, not low. I mean, it was fine. It's just you should have had.
I rolled 6
successes. You notice a bit of a twinge in his face at the mention. More of like a twinge in his eyes, like a very subtle shift. Not like nervousness per se, but when you mention Annabelle's name, you see just like a little bit of a crack in his demeanor that he very quickly like.
I've done odd jobs for her.
Kind of like it's kind of like when you have like a sliver and you forget you have a sliver and then you like grab something and it just like hits it again, and it's something akin to that with his facial expression. He just kind of like for just an instant and then he catches his composure again.
I've done odd jobs for her, done some investigating with the coterie, and I'd like to elevate my reputation in her eyes. I think that if things were to go sideways with the coterie, I'd like to have a backup plan, someone to look to, perhaps to gain some sort of favor.
It's my understanding she's been sort of honing you to be clan whip. And all a whip need do is grasp the handle to become one. Also an oddly fitting position for you considering. And then he just kind of like gestures and like as if like his gesture says everything about you, but his word he doesn't say anything.
Sasha has not.
You are
actually...
indeed a rare breed within our Toreador ranks.
She doesn't have any of her weapons visible on her, by the way. It's like, tucked away, like over her jacket or whatever. It's concealed, right? So she's like, hey, listen, I take that as a great compliment. Toreador are everywhere, a dime a dozen, but there's only one me.
Correct, and that therein lies the secret to your ascent. The shadow games, the the verbal chess. Those are the strengths of many kindred, but your best way to ascend is by applying the tools you already have, Sasha, in the correct place. If Annabelle is to see you a whip, then be a whip.
Okay.
A Toreador, I mean, every clan needs their enforcers, needs, and Toreador enforcers tend to pale in comparison to others, but imagine a whip that can go toe to toe with any Bruja within the Toreador ranks. That is the path you've been on, my dear, since the day I took you back under my wing. Imagine a Toreador sheriff. What that could do. You have your natural presence. Pun not intended. That comes with the package of our blood, for sure. But no, he doesn't say our blood. He says Toreador blood. You have the Toreador package that comes with Toreador blood. But you have so much more than that. Instead of trying to be more like other Toreador, be more like yourself. Enjoy the boons of your blood, where they make life easier, gaining access and an audience and the like. The performance of it all, sure, you don't exactly lack in some of those aspects, but again, verbal chess and the like, I just don't see that being necessary. Canadians.
You seem to have a mild twitch when I first mentioned Annabelle.
We have history.
Good history, I hope.
Kindred history is so rarely black and white on a long enough timeline.
My timeline is far too short as it stands. I wouldn't have any idea.
We've known each other a while, back in my days of... did you, like, publicly address the fact that he was once a harpy?
I don't think Sasha knows. Did you guys say it out loud? I didn't
like
watch
during
the whole
the
thing.
dinner part. I can't recall it. I think Ashley might have said
No.
something, or did Ashley keep that
I-
to herself?
No.
You asked him about it when we were like walking
Ashley.
away.
Yeah, while we were all walking.
Yeah, and
When-
I will allow for
Sasha-
enjoyment of for improvement, not improvement, for a little added layer to this conversation that you shared the census with Terry during that
Yeah.
walk. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you were there for part of the walk, and when you walked away, you had already been sharing a census. So you have a very small gap of when, like where you wouldn't have caught the conversation and stuff, which is, probably more about some of the specifics of the well, because that's when everyone kind of like stopped, and you kind of were like, no, I'm going to go see Ambrose. So like that's where the gap would be, is like kind of about the specifics of the well. But no, you would have heard then Ashley mention that. So he kind of like, now he doesn't know directly per se, but he was around when Ashley said it, because he kind of branched off around the well moment too. So yeah, he goes, we have history going back to when I was harpy.
Sasha, like, because she heard the information, she clocks it and then just like makes a pretend.
See, that was part where you
Chopstick,
yourself had to like cut out, as I recall. So
Yeah.
you missed that
Mhm.
conversation that added a ton of like where they learned a shit ton about him. So
Yeah, I didn't get to
let me
watch the
recap
whole
it.
thing,
Yeah,
but
let me recap it just a little bit. He was Harpy.
Yeah.
Harpies aren't really an elected position or an appointed position. You get to be Harpy by being very good at doing Harpy shit already, and then basically the prince just going, "Yeah, you're a Harpy," because the best way to keep somebody like that in line is
by
to
giving
give
them
them
a
a
job.
job. Harpies
Yeah.
are basically somebody, and as a position that's
Aren't
not
they
really
like professional gossip mongers,
pretty much,
basically?
yeah.
Like,
They're like
Yeah.
they can control like Harpy. I think is one of the most misunderstood positions within the like the Silver Tower within the hierarchy, because like people think that they're just like all they do is like gossip and spread information for the prince. The thing is like a Harpy can also like get a blood hunt going by spreading a shit ton of lies. They're a lot more like the rhetoric engine. They're like rhetoric engines. It's not just gossip. They're like the mouth in 1984 or whatever. Like they or V for Vendetta, I think. They are like weaponized rhetoric. They can make or break a kindred career by like spreading a bunch of misinformation about them. You know, they know all the right people to talk to. They are like verbal espionage monsters. Like Harpies are, again, they're a very misunderstood position, I feel. Because they're not just like about the gossip and like, oh, like hear ye, like it's you know, they're Harpies heralds, by the way, are like this same rank. It's just different vernacular.
So you used to be the Harpy, not anymore?
And again, as a position that isn't really elected, is more appointed, to step down from it is just think about the like weirdness of being really good at a job and then just like, you know what I'm saying? Like that would be, you don't really necessarily step down from something like that where the prince just kind of said like, yeah, you're a Harpy, to kind of like give you a job and stop you from harpying the prince. You know, like.
So why are you no longer the Harpy then?
And therein lies the complexity with my relationship regarding Annabelle. You need to roll a charisma persuasion.
Oh,
or a
balls.
manipulation.
Okay. Manipulation persuasion?
Can
You can roll
extra die for being favorite daughter.
Yeah, canonical favorite daughter.
Yes. Canonical favorite daughter. You can have you can have advantage when schmoozing him. But no, it would be either manipulation or charisma and persuasion.
Okay, great.
And then you can have a bonus die.
Okay.
I mean, I guess technically you could go the manipulation intimidation route if you prefer. But you would not have a bonus die to intimidate him, like, because like
no. I am not
trying to like intimidate you would be like, oh, that's so cute, you know, like.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm at 3 hunger now, so this may not work out great for me. We'll see. YOLO. I'm about to tantrum like a hangry little child. Oh, that's not a crit. Feels bad. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hasn't it? Your beast beginning to whisper in your ear. It's been a minute, hasn't it? What did you get? A 5?
Yeah, 5 successes.
Somebody's throwing. He don't know if he lets it slip or if he's just sort of nostalgically rambling type thing, or if he's in the moment of his favorite daughter come home, right? He just sort of goes, she had other plans for the harpy position, and we didn't see eye to eye on the direction of Toreador matters in the city of Chicago. She made sure that, well, a change of position wasn't my idea. She sort of spearheaded the promotion, and he has like a little bile in the way he says promotion. You know, vitriol is a better word in how he says the word.
So
promotion.
who's the harpy? Who's the harpy who replaced him? Do I know who the harpy is now? Like, can I connect the dots?
Does Chicago have a harpy right now? Because there's a lot of vacant positions currently in Chicago.
We can make one up, but is it safe to assume Sasha would connect the dots and be
it's
like,
somebody
"That's
like
the guy who replaced
whoever it
him,"
is, it's somebody
that
that like
Annabelle
is
liked.
it's somebody who's way more Annabelle aligned. Is
Okay.
It's like
We'll workshop that later.
yeah, it's somebody who's like far more Annabelle sympathetic.
Right, pro Annabelle.
Might not be a Toreador per se, but it's somebody far more like pro Annabelle. And you would know that from like an etiquette roll. Like we would roll that like from having your what is your etiquette skill at?
Better 3.
Yeah, just a 3 in etiquette. You auto know that. Honestly, that's 3/5 of the skill. You're better at it than you are bad. Within the gossip and being so close to Annabelle, you would know that. Like Annabelle has talked about this harpy. You know, maybe even you've seen her like even at her club, like have them come in, sit in a VIP booth with them and be like, are basically harpies and gotcha. Bronwyn is a harpy. It wouldn't be Bronwyn, although I love Bronwyn. Maybe Brett. It would be one of them. One of them would be or if not one of them, an NPC. We come up with that she really wanted in position in place of him. But it wasn't
Bret
so
Hart
much.
P.
Huh?
Bret Hart P.
Yeah, Bret Hart P.
Yeah.
Looks like Bret Hart.
Yeah.
It is Brett Stryker. No, I don't know. We'll come up with that in a moment. But it wasn't so much that she needed to install a more Annabelle sympathetic. She needed to remove an Annabelle critical harpy, which is what he does. And he'll just say she needed more sympathetic interests in the gossip mongering business in Chicago. Annabelle's ultimate intent, the belief that Toreador can run Chicago better than Ventru, isn't a secret amongst any kindred with a remote of savvy, or with any modicum of savvy. It's really a matter of how or when or if. You know?
How do you really feel about that? The idea of Toreador being able to run Chicago.
I'm ultimately ambivalent, to be frank. I think the best person for the job is the best person for the job. Chicago is a mighty undertaking, and Loden struggled. Helena had her struggles. Controlling Chicago is a fool's just shy of a fool's errand. But Roll another persuasion. He wants to
Okay.
say, he doesn't want to say it, but like you've got him kind of on the verbal ropes. You have to spend a willpower. You can't get bonus dice out of it. You can't re-roll. You have to spend a willpower because we are in a willpower battle right now. Like we are in a social battle at this point. So
Social
Okay, so you
combat.
want me?
Social
you want me to-
combat, let's go.
So you have to spend the
Social
willpower
combat.
to even
To make this roll.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. All right. This is not the way I thought I would take.
I thought you were just going to
Amazon,
ask
but I
the
love it.
sire question, and like I thought that.
Wait, willpower to make the roll? As in, but she wants to surge the blood to get more dice.
But I already surged.
Oh,
this
during the scene.
During the scene for charisma, right? So, or for manipulation. So I can just do that again, right? Okay.
I'm just saying you have to spend the willpower to even roll.
To make,
1, 2, 3, 4,
okay,
5.
okay.
5 successes.
Nice.
Hey, look, I can do social combat too. Daddy
yeah,
just
you
said
can.
she had no control.
With your
This is her being controlled.
I assure you his dice pool is much larger than yours for this, and I am okay. He's no slouch in social situations, but it is his favorite daughter, and I'm being sincere about that. Like he really does like Sasha because they're a violent toreador that like threw down in the arena, and she's aesthetically pleasing in her visceral combat and stuff like that. So anyway, every combat with her is like a Jackson Pollock, right? Like she's just blowing people up into Jackson Pollocks. So Annabelle has. It wasn't a trading of boons so much. It wasn't as mutual, but she had me at a disadvantage. Every kindred has their dark secrets. You have yours. You know a few of Miss Dame's. Pressure in the right place. And she went for she went for one of my nerves. I don't mind my promotion, but it is I could have multitasked.
The more
I would have had more of a lateral movement in mind for myself.
That's understandable. You never want to stay stagnant for too long. I do have a question now. So you've been displaced from this position of relative power by Annabelle. What's your true motivation for encouraging me to become the whip? What do you
Quite frankly, I
hope
think
to gain?
I hate saying frankly, quite frankly. You would be a powerful whip. A toreador of your prowess is nigh unheard of. They exist and have existed, but one that is roll it again, persuasion, spend a willpower to do it.
Goodbye to all your willpower before your sniper fight.
I'm not
I think
worried
it's on
about
purpose. I think it's on purpose.
It is.
You're a forfeit.
I'm okay with that. Let's fucking go.
All right,
YOLO.
this is the one.
I believe in you.
This was not the one.
Yes.
Yeah, get right.
Rolling
Oh my
Did you
god.
crit?
1,
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, no.
a
9
9
successes,
If it-
messy critical.
I rolled 9 dice and got 2.
I rolled 9 successes with a messy crit.
Meshy.
I feel like this is worth it.
Meshy.
Even if Sasha gets like Torbert, I feel like this is worth it. I'm
It's-
rocking this. So perfect.
You would be a powerful whip. Make no mistake of that. You
Mhm.
would be something to be reckoned with should the Primogen require... Think about it. Annabelle and her retinue, if they require persuasion of a social sort, there's plenty of Toreador to take on that task. If they require persuasion, enforcement of a martial sort, he gestures. Oh, the damage you'd do would be spectacular to behold. But most importantly, she'd have a whip of her blood. I am not your sire, Sasha.
Sasha grows silent for like a moment as she's like she absorbs this confirmation of something she suspected, and she says, how do you know?
By the way, he lost willpower in this exchange too, because like he had...
Haha, sucks to be you.
I have ways to gain back willpower. Joke's on you, sucker.
I'm the ST. I can just
Panacea.
nebulously be like, oh yeah, I guess he
Your
started with
panacea doesn't
9
work.
instead of 7, you know, like...
No, but
But I
No,
just
I'm
thought you would
glad I did
enjoy
this.
understanding that you
No.
damaged his willpower, so... All right.
no, that's fantastic. I love it. I broke this old guy. She just says, wait. How is this possible?
She sired you. It really doesn't get any more plain than that. Annabelle is a specimen of the long game. Having a open child is a open vulnerability in her position. Having a child in secret gives you the best of both worlds. As I said, whip now, sheriff tomorrow, or scourge should Chicago have need of them again. When she inevitably makes her play, strengthen you up, help you gain standing, but keep you hidden from her enemies as a pressure point. My promotion wasn't merely this island, Sasha. It was you. And your boyfriend's banishment was collateral damage. He, I suspect, learned a truth and leveraged it. Annabelle would have never had you slain for a masquerade breach, but she definitely had to make it appear as though she would.
Oh my god.
To keep up the charade.
How
Do you
did she
understand
convince?
how? Do you understand how deep her game goes?
I'm starting to. Yeah. How did she convince you to play along?
The same way most kindred convince others to play along, either cashing in boons or the appropriate leverage. willpower if you want to know this one, and another roll.
All right, we ball.
Okay.
Let's go!
I
Ed!
I wanna know. This is plot shit. Okay, wait.
Yeah, I want to
Persuasion
know
again?
because yeah.
Persuasion again? Yeah. Okay. Let's go. I am on fire. 4 successes.
She knows my true clan. One of the few.
Oh wow.
It is not Caitiff. It is not Toreador.
Okay.
I will simply say, think of the clans that Camarilla might consider killing on sight. And you have a gesture towards your answer. And I will say no more on the subject if you don't mind, because I have carved out a rather nice life for myself in Chicago.
I would never dare to expose you for
It's not,
everything.
I know you wouldn't dare to on purpose. But
for everything that it's worth.
You understand that
You're part of the reason I am the way I am. Sorry, you are the reason. You are part of the reason I am the way I am.
Were my heart still beating, I'm sure. I would like for you to know that that would warm it. Even if I wished to tell you, I would not, on account of the power her blood will have over you. I'm not worried about you willingly letting secrets slip. Child and sire's relationship is a complex one.
Is it any more complex than ours?
Oh, I still consider myself somewhat of a sire, and ours would just be a proof of concept, as it were. I'm not talking as Jeff Goldbloomy as I wished, but I just kind of fell into a rhythm for him that I'm going with.
I'm going to need some time to absorb this information before I enter the challenge. If you don't mind just granting...
No, I do mind, I'm afraid. I might have been sentimental here, my dear Sasha. But rules and this island... Well, no, he doesn't say rules. But this island's needs are more powerful than our relationship, I'm afraid. Once a bargain has been struck, he just kind of trails off. I could delay it, but only just. You hear like a mighty gong, you know, like kind of begin from like the center of the compound. You know, 3 strikes. Yeah, like 3 gong strikes. He's like, I'm afraid the game has begun. You must find... Hey, there you go. You must find Cheryl and do to her what she intends to do to you. And don't allow the obstacles to stop you. It would be most unfortunate to leave your coterie short-handed for their final trial.
Understood.
And with that, I think we take a real quick.
Ah!
Jesus Christ.
There was some knowledge bomb or some plot
Oh,
bombs
so
dropped,
good. So
dropped
good.
that deepened the lore of Chicago
Uh.
and the coterie. So like that's the kind of deliciousness.
Also, fucking shitster. Fucking shitster.
What did I do? I
And
didn't do
it's a
anything.
bunch of
I
stuff
did
Sasha
nothing.
No,
will never
Ambrose.
share
Oh.
because she's bad at sharing.
That's
All right.
true.
All right, BRB everybody.
Woo.
switched over.
It was amazing.
Non-romance related RP. I was like, you know what? Worth
You know,
it.
we had Shelly being React Queen again. Like it was pretty good. So
Never share it.
never tell.
The
I feel
lore
I feel like it's
doesn't
gonna be
end.
pillow talk between Sasha and Rory.
Yeah.
No, I feel
Oh,
like
at some point, I'm gonna be like, "What are you hiding this time? No dick. Tell me."
she'll paint a mural about it on your wall.
That's
It's
fine.
just it's the conspiracy board,
Yeah.
but it's just a mural instead.
Yeah.
It's the conspiracy mural. This is exactly what I'm thinking, and it's just a whole giant portrait of. It's a sexy mural. Sorry, I'm having genuine feels about that scene. It was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, hi emotions. I am here now. Great. What do you want to do now? Do we die now?
It's
This is how we
time
I think
die.
Now we fight.
It's time to die.
How dare you?
Remember,
Now,
die
the question
loud.
is,
Remember,
Does Sasha
salute
go
you.
first?
remember, die loudly, die violently. That is the only way.
Exactly.
And on this island,
Die
that's how
sexy.
it goes. Oh shoot! I forgot to ask him what he did to all the fuckers who disappeared from the island. Welp. It's fine.
He ate them.
Nobody. I
Probably
didn't actually
ate
care.
them.
I
about
mean, it
those
could be one of
guys.
those like you're about to
Well,
like
use their
sneak
blood
off in the
to-
cardboard box.
No, you know what he
You know,
probably
and before you
did?
do that, you turn back.
But-
and you're like,
Ritual.
Blood sacrifice.
Hey, what happened to the twins and all these other guys that used to be
Got
here? Did you
sacrificed
eat
to the
them?
blood god, to the moon god.
It's like,
Bullshit.
sorry, kid, they're all gone.
Well, we'll see the well god.
Oh my god!
Go see your
Just
dad,
threw him in
bitch.
the lake. Just threw him in the lake.
Mm-hmm.
I'm crying right now. I'm so
I
You
have
sorry.
like
well
look
is just
over your
full of
shoulder
people
and you're
now.
like, hey, what happened to those guys? And Ambrose is like, huh, save it for after the game. And then
I'll
like,
tell you.
what I've done just starts playing, directed by Michael Bay.
Oh my fucking god!
We haven't had enough explosions for Michael Bay.
We can make
It's
more
true.
explosions. We have the power to make more explosions. We had that car explosion the other night. That was pretty cool.
I'm walking.
Cool kids don't look at explosions.
It's true. He is
Yeah.
a explosion.
Yeah, exactly. You're wearing an
speaking
explosion
of
shirt right
explosion-
now.
Speaking
Oh
of
my God, I'm
who
proud.
goes first?
So
I don't know.
Oh.
Rock, paper,
Wait.
scissors.
Let's go.
Ah,
We gotta get.
Wait.
I think we gotta get the rundown. and
no,
then-
it's
Yeah.
you.
Or
We,
it's
wait
me.
we did nose guy.
want the
We did nose
rundown.
goes, and Shelly and I, we were on top of it.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just
I
gonna
called it.
stab
I
this
started
puzzle with a sword. That's how we're gonna solve it.
Okay, like
Fireball.
I know y'all are like
I see the wheel of fortune
pro
and I can't fire.